Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate, please visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here in the building with you again on this fine Thursday in Houston, Texas. Normally, this is where I would introduce the Texas real estate king, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. But unfortunately, Mr. Brooks is out on assignment this week, and we have a very special co-host sitting in with us today. She is a wily veteran of the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I want to say this is her third appearance here with us. And as always, I'm sure our viewership will spike this week as it has the past couple of times she's appeared on the podcast. I want to thank her from the beginning for sitting in with us. She is a real estate professional like none other. She is one of the most successful ladies in real estate here in the greater Houston area. She is a real estate advisor now with the Tailored Real Estate Group at Compass. And as I mentioned, for our Facebook fam, she hosts the Let's Get Personal vlog on Instagram. I want to thank her so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to host the show with her again. And I want to introduce to our audience, Miss Alicia Jammer. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I love coming on here, and I actually like co-hosting. I don't like that seat. I like this. I like pretending to be Larry. So I do have a gift for you at the end that Larry has given me to give to you. So cool. I'm super excited to talk about Ready to Love.
Wait. Stop everything. See, this is what makes you such a great co-host, because you already want to turn the attention to this week's guest. But
absolutely.
It's been at least 8 months since we've had the opportunity to visit with you on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Can you share with the audience what you've been up to, what you have going on, and everything that you have planned for 2021?
So he just introduced me, and for those of you that follow me, I am now with Tailored Real Estate Group at Compass. I did a major career shift. It was in the works last year, and then COVID kind of hit, so we kind of paused it. And I officially moved over to Compass in September of 2020. Since moving over to Compass, I have been extremely busy. Buyers are out and taking advantage of low interest rates. So I am super excited to kind of get an hour or so to break away from my real estate business. My team is amazing. My business has soared, and I have so many things planned for 2021. Some I've talked to Larry about, and we should be rolling those out here pretty soon.
Oh, well, thank you so much, man. I know you stay so busy. We all, of course, we follow each other online, so I get to stay abreast of what's going on as far as your transition, what's going on with your vlog, what's going on with the boys. So I want to make sure I give a big shout out to all three of you boys, because last time you was here, they had a chance to visit with us in the studio. Next time you come, you got to bring one, two, or all three with you.
I will. They did talk about it last night, because remember when I was here last time, they were in the other room and being loud, and I had to threaten their life because I was, trying to do business. But no, they love watching me on whatever social platform. Right. So I told them, make sure you're watching. They're actually virtual learning right now.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Big shout out, man, because I know that virtual learning can be challenging. So all students out there, man, we with you, no doubt. That's why I'm glad I'm grown and I don't got to go to school no more. So that's a plus.
It's more work for us parents. Like, I'm the one having to basically go back to school. And then when you don't get a good grade on an assignment, they're like, oh my gosh, you what do you mean you don't know this? And I'm like, that's not something I remember. Geez, give me a break. But I did get a 90. I helped get a 90 on an assignment. So I was like, oh, look at mom.
Well, you almost gave my man up on wax. You better be cool. You almost gave him up. Hey, but thank you again for sitting there with us. This is going to be an honor and a pleasure as always. Audience, I am very excited for this week's guest. This gentleman is a very talented gentleman. I'm really proud that he was able to make some time to sit in on our platform, because this gentleman's career is on a trajectory where I don't know if this time next year we'll be able to find some time to get him in here in the studio with us, man. But he's not only an actor, he's an entrepreneur, and he is also the star of season 3 of OWN Network's hit series, Ready to Love. Man, I want to thank him so much for sitting in on the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, and I'd like to introduce to our audience, Mr. David Dixon. How you doing?
What's happening? How you doing, man?
Hey, look, brother, man. Thank you so much for sitting there with us. First things first, big shout out to everybody from Lufkin, Texas.
Yeah, definitely.
I got friends and fam out in Lufkin. East Texas is my thing. Me and Larry both went to school in Nacogdoches, so
cool.
You know what I'm saying? One thing, when I learned that you were from Lufkin, I was like, okay, that's what's up.
Country.
No, I'm going to tell you, it's funny because until I actually went to school in East Texas, I didn't understand the dynamic that Lufkin held as far as holding East Texas together, man. So that's one of the things that I was pleasantly surprised about, man, how serious they take their high school sports.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, man, it was super cool because Lufkin was one of the few stadiums that I knew in East Texas that had a grass field. And this is way back in the 90s. They didn't have a bench. They had fold-out chairs like for the Rockets.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you, it was like 1997. I was like, whoa, Lufkin team sit on fold-out chairs. I was like, so I always never forget that about Lufkin. So anybody from that town, man, even if other people don't understand what it is that you come from, I understand how real it is, man. So thank you so much, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we got you in the building, man. You're an actor, entrepreneur. And now that you've starred on this hit reality television series, how have you found that has helped to elevate your platform, or how has that changed the dynamic as far as your professional business and how you are as far as your entertainment career?
I feel like it's been a great experience for sure.
Right.
You know, I've met some wonderful people, still meeting a lot of people, actually just getting out there. I mean, it's opening a lot of doors as well, you know, because, of course, you have that exposure. You're reaching out to even more people because, once again, like you say, a major network. Man, I just see things coming in, like, constantly. But it's I think it's helped me in a lot more ways as far as, I guess, I would say just being, like, that person that want to just go get it. It's pushed me more, basically. What I'm saying is it's opened my eyes up to things to say that, you know what, you can really do this. You can go further in life, you know, because sometimes we cut ourselves down.
You know, something, you know, of course, you always have your own thoughts of how things are sitting on the couch, but I want to ask you why you're here. Houston, as large as it is with like over 8 million people, have you found that being on television has really seemed to shrink the city down? Even a city of this size, it's kind of like, wow, I didn't know I knew so many people or so many people knew me. Because that's one of the things that I would think would be the challenge. Right. Of thinking that, oh, I'm in Houston, but now all of a sudden Houston seemed like 2 blocks and everybody knows everybody. Have you had any feelings as far as that is concerned, or have you had any advice that other people have given you to help not deal with any stress from that standpoint?
Well, I mean, if you know people that have actually, I guess you would say, been in the industry and stuff like that and been around them, you know, and I have been lucky enough to have some friends like that. So, you know, they've kind of just told me, you know, how to handle certain things, the do's and the don'ts, because you don't want to get out there and just be doing stuff you ain't got no business doing, you know. And it's like, oh, come on, man, look, you're going to have eyes on you. You're going to have people watching you more than what you ever, you know, would have thought. So, it's actually helped me to have those friends, you know, to name a few. Lisa Rogers is one of my good friends, which, you know, the city knows her. You know, so, and she stays on me, you know, about things. You know, as a lady friend, she definitely stays on me, so she keeps me alive.
I know one of the cool things is that the show that you're on, not only was it filmed here in Houston, but from a production standpoint, I think each of the stars on the show, the way that they edited and the way that they produced it, you especially, I feel like a lot of your personality was able to come through, which can be tough considering that they're editing footage and that kind of stuff. Because from being at home and watching you, I was like, okay, that dude can be funny. I can see that if I was to kick it with dude would be hilarious. But it's funny to get that across on the television when they're not there to make sure you're funny. So is there anything that you saw from a personality standpoint that you felt like was a little bit off your center, or is what came across exactly like who you are when people hang out with you, or do your buddies feel like your true personality came through?
Okay, so a lot of people still mess with me about the whole conversation that I had with Simone, the lawyer. When I said her conversation was trash, they was like, no, that's him. That's him. Like, he would say something like that. He would say something like that. You know, and it's kind of like, all right, we see the reality in that for sure. You know, but it was some things to where it's like, might have been a little exaggerated. Like, nah, that ain't.
No, I'm going to tell you, though, man, because
like
of a lot of the gentlemen on the show, your sense of humor was something that I could actually relate to. I know so many of my dudes that if they was in your position, they would have been carrying it exactly the same way. So from that standpoint, I think they did you justice.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, nothing's going to be perfect. One of the cool things before you got here, me and Miss Alicia was talking about the show, and she is an avid viewer.
I like reality TV. It's like a guilty pleasure,
So how did you feel from the couch watching the show as far as how they depicted David?
Not knowing him, I thought you were funny. The conversation with Alicia when y'all were playing pool, as a mother with kids, see what we don't, and this is one of the things, like what we don't see on TV, because you only have so much that you can show, is the conversations leading up to before you had that conversation. For as a woman, it's like, I don't know how long were you guys actually on the resort?
I mean, they gave us it was quick, like, it was real quick. Like, you had your few months, whatever, and then it was like, bam, gone. Like, you didn't really even have a full month, actually, to be honest. But, I mean, the way it came out was just like, you got to know this person, meet this person. But then it was I say speed dating on crack.
Okay.
Because you from here to here to here to here. But it's like, how can you get me to find love that fast? It's tough. It's tough.
So to have that conversation, for me, it's more like, have you dated someone with kids, and give you, or any person, the opportunity, and you alike to women, have you dated somebody with kids? What was that process like for you? Tell me more. How did it work for you? What did you find? Like, as far as the kids, did you have a good rapport with the kids? How long did it take you? Did the woman, wait for you to meet the kids? So conversations like that, more as than, and y'all were just the communication on the reunion.
It went straight to, it basically went straight to the finances.
Yeah,
that's what it went to.
Are you going to take care of my kids?
And
in that instance, I didn't think that was fair to you or any man, for any woman to come at you or any man that way. Because again, it's more like, have you dated someone with kids, and what was it like for you?
Now, the cool thing, though, and you let me know if you agree, Miss Alicia, because a lot of reality television isn't always something that you would like teenagers, preteens, and younger kids to see. There's not always really family friendly. But what I will say, Dave, is that you guys being on Ready to Love is one of the few reality shows that you wouldn't mind a teenager. And I know you were saying that you and your son watch it together.
Yeah.
So as a mom, I'm sure you were really super hyper aware of what your kids take in as far as visuals and television. What was it about this reality show, Alicia, that made you feel comfortable watching it with your son?
For me, I'm not the parent that sugarcoats things for my kids. I have 3 boys. They're going to be 15, 13, and 12, February, March, and April. I don't sugarcoat things for my kids, so I always talk to them about real life things that are going on, and even talking to them about mom dating and what that has looked like. So watching this show wasn't like, oh my gosh, they're going to watch a dating show. I'm like, it was funny because I had told them, like, oh, this is a show that somebody had DM'd me about being on. So it kind of sparked their interest. My youngest was the only one that like really would sit down and watch it with me, and we would pause it when they talked about the finances. The smooth guy, KG, when she asked him about splitting the bills, I paused the conversation and I did an actual let's get personal on that, because I talked to my boys about what would you do if you met a woman that didn't want to work, and they all said, depending on what I do for a living. I have 3 kids that love sports, so their future, they want to play football or basketball, whatever, something in sports. My youngest was the only one that said she has to work. And I said, even if you made it in the league, he's like, yeah, I need her to work. And I'm like, gosh, look at you. Just, but talking to them and having those conversations, I just don't sugarcoat things for my kids. So this show wasn't anything that I thought was like, oh my gosh. I mean, even they would say, like, when the guy was rubbing her feet, he was like, dang, he rubbing her feet and they just met,
Right.
No, it's really interesting. And Dave, I wonder how that makes you feel, because I don't know how often you actually get a mother telling you about how you come across on television and she has conversation with her boys. Oh, and like, because I know that's really deep, because I know me just sitting here, I never consider how many moms had their sons there talking to them about adult relationships.
Right.
And that just shows you how powerful of a platform that you have. And one of the things that I'm really proud for you is how your online platform is growing and how the Gentlemen of Houston, that hashtag, your IG handle is starting to really take fire and really get everything going. So let's talk a little bit about your movement. How did you even get the handle Gentlemen of Houston on IG? Because, like, you would assume something like that would have been taken already.
Yeah, you really would think that. But, of course, just so happened it wasn't. And it's like, okay, I got it. But then, so I had one, which was actually, I started out as the Bachelor of Houston, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
That's how I started out. But of course, that kind of just, I don't know, it kind of made me look like I was for everybody. You know how they say, like, exactly, you for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like, I don't know how this,
I don't know, right?
You know, so I was just speaking with, some lady friends. And of course, they always give me good insight, good feedback on different stuff. And they will get on me about different. So, I just got so used to people, or just say women in general, say, oh, you're such a gentleman. Oh, you're such a gentleman. Right. But because of this Southern thing where I say we opening doors, we pulling out chairs, we're doing all of this. So it just became something that I did on a regular, whether it be helping them step down, all of that. So I heard that for so long, and I was like, well, I wonder how many gentlemen are there really in Houston. You know what I'm saying? So, like, who's really still doing this?
No, you'll be surprised. And that's why I love it so much, because I think sometimes as men, it only takes one person to step out on that platform of tradition, honor, integrity. Right. And it kind of it emboldens everyone else. Yeah. It's almost like Kobe Bryant and the girl dad hashtag. Right. I have a daughter. There's so many men in the world with daughters, and you don't really necessarily feel like that's spotlighted enough until Kobe Bryant was able to put it on a larger platform. And I think with the Gentlemen of Houston thing, what's great about that is it lets people in our generation, the younger guys, even down to Miss Jammer's sons, know that there's a place socially for those kind of guys that are into the traditions, that are into opening doors, pulling out chairs. And that's something that I want to make sure I let you know, continue doing that, keep building that platform, because I think it's very underserved and undermentioned from that standpoint.
It is.
It is.
And I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say this now. I feel as though, like, also women have allowed that to change, because the man may have whatever, say he this ball or whatever, however, whatever. He's not expected to do this. But a man of a lower class, they may feel like, oh, well, you can at least do this. Because you ain't got the money.
No, that's mass. That's super duper deep. That's super deep. And I want to go into that because when we come back from our break, I want to talk to you about your evolutionary path. Not only as a man, but also as a businessman and an entrepreneur, because people now, with you having a platform on television, I think they may undervalue your trailblazing process and how you had to work to get where you are. So if you don't mind, I want to talk to you a little bit about that when we come back from break.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. We'll be right back after taking a short break to hear from our sponsors.